don't like Viego because I just think it doesn't work. This I like a lot more with Vi.
Oh, yes.
God.
No.
I like that less.
We had a great angle.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
You have a little bit more scaling. I think that into Azir, when you have two hyper-scaling mid laners, it's okay. I don't love the pairing along.
Eyes for initiation have been fantastic.
That's true.
Definitely in this series as well. So as we dive onto the Rift, we'll see whether Knight's Corki's going to get across the line this time. It didn't work out last time they met T1, but neither did Faker's. And Faker's Aurelion Sol at the hands of Caps' Orianna, I've seen too many times in the highlight reels. Keria looks for that back angle. Jayo's absolutely deafening here in Chengdu. As we do see the setup, lane swap looking like it might be coming through as Keria moves towards that top side.
Early vision being set up there by Shun for Bin, meaning that he, from the get-go, is going to be able to have a lot of offensive threat, even with Zeus. Can't really weave in and out the way you normally do as Faker.
Yeah, they get the flash. On did invest his, but as I like to say, Hex Flash now at the ready. And T1, everyone all grouped up. They get rid of the vision. But that Hail of Arrows value, absolutely massive. It's a 5v5 here at 1.5 minutes. Another hook is going to land, but it's a good Bellows Breath. Once again here, this time it's Keria's on that gets it done. And the vision's going to get cleared. No first blood just yet.
BLG will not allow the swap to happen. They're going to do their best to match. As Elk and On hover around the top side, they're going to make their way towards that top lane. TP invested by Bin, Zeus, sorry, means that he will get back to lane sooner. Bin, of course, no flash on Faker, but yeah, okay, I don't think they're going to really make anything happen here.
Yep, Elk and On here towards the top side. Just Keria doing his best top laner impression here, as we can see.
Gumayusi just kind of hovering around mid lane to offer that extra support for Faker, cautious of the fact that Bin still hasn't been spotted on the map. Zeus is going to have a full level advantage over his lane opponent, which is going to be good for him. But Bin, I don't think is going to be too concerned about it. Again, we talk about this all the time. The Twisted Fate passive is going to help him catch up in terms of gold relatively quickly as Faker takes a nice trade against Knight in mid.
Faker going to be looking to try and utilize those early levels for Acel, just continuously proc Comet.
Nice hook. Not really going to get too much though, as the snare is going to connect, but no follow-up because there's no ward in that brush.
One of the big advantages of the Ornn is that he is really hard to dive. We do see Shun will hit level 3, might look for something, but equally likely to just head towards the bottom half of the map. Faker getting covered a little bit there by the early levels, as you're pointing out, by Guma, but Wave is just going to crash. BLG even with a PTA actually here on the Vi, extra damage, and Faker, he has an inkling. On hasn't showed for a while.
Zeus will find a really nice trade here as On going to move in. Oh dear, Faker in so much trouble. No flash, no chance, and will be taken down. First blood for Knight's Corki.
He had no means of escape. The flash investment from On at level 1 pays dividends as BLG secure first blood, but Elk.
Elk? As Keria's just farming, it's like, Gumi, you should just don't get yourself killed, please.
Big thing there is you're level 3 Varus with lethal tempo. Unless Keria finds somehow a CC chain on top of you, you're going to win that. Varus's early levels are so insanely strong as On makes his way over.
He's just walking in, looking to try and get Gumayusi here, but meanwhile on the bottom side of the map, Shun getting attacked, but will find the Vault Breaker. Good movement here from Oner. We'll get a bit of damage back down. Still just the junglers going to be passing one another. Arrow going to be avoided there by Gumayusi. Kind of crucial here in this matchup, but not going to be able to stop this Blighted Quipper from being activated by the Hail of Arrows. There's a Hex Flash forward from On. He'll find the snare onto Keria, but he gets the knock up, and that is going to be the kill. Elk going to be taken down by the Ornn. He tried to give it to Gumayusi, but does not work out. Still, they'll even out the kill score.
Extremely necessary kill there because mid lane was looking rough. T1 in the 2v2. Find the outplay. BLG biting off a little bit more than they can chew.
Yeah, Elk and On were the ones to try and force that fight. And overstepping their bounds, a really nice combo from Keria comes out. And Elk is left without many options. I mean, I think he still had the flash available, but in any case, another play on top lane.
The root.
Yeah, Shun coming on in. You can see, not going to be quite able to get in to the right position, has now been ghosting after Zeus, both of them pressing the button, and that is going to mean Zeus gets himself out.
Bin still has the flash though. As he puts some nice pressure down onto Zeus. He's going to go back to base. Bit of a CS lead being built between the top laners in favor of Zeus. Of course, that gold still staying relatively even means that the gold across the board largely even. Gumayusi didn't quite secure the kill. It was, in fact, Keria, but that's only going to make this front line even tankier for the side of T1. We talk about how their composition is all about hyperscaling. It's very much about being able to play that front to back. And getting this advantage, mitigating BLG's options to skirmish and find leads in the early game, is really setting your comp up for success later into the game.
We're also seeing T1 use this Senna again, try and have as much impact as possible while still securing a decent amount of souls. One of the things to note as well is that Elk has gone for on-hit, which I understand he's playing into double frontline, so going for lethality feels really, really rough, but he doesn't have that much frontline. His space, particularly when you get later into the game, there's going to be Ornn horns flying around, there's going to be Asol just as a champion existing. Eventually, it's going to become really hard to get consistent damage out of this Varus, particularly if you fall behind early.
And it's so awkward, right? Because into a tank, which Ksante kind of is, you want to build the on-hit so that you can actually kill a tank, but also then you can't stand back far enough so that he can't just engage on you and kill you. It's just Ksante, man. I don't know. Every time we seem to complain about it, and every time it seems to be relevant, as we do see neutral objectives traded. Zeus is underneath this turret. Speaking of which, I don't know about this one, though, as All Out is going to come through. Zeus going to try and survive, but that just kills him. I think taking 5 turret shots, maybe not the angle here, guys.
What was that from Zeus? A huge mistake. The wave got cleared out so fast by Elk. He didn't even have to flash. Just a straight-up free kill donated over to BLG AD carry.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, let's try again. He doesn't find the ultimate, but that flash was gorgeous, and he's looking to outplay. It doesn't work out, but still then able to win the fight on. He gets 2 for himself.
And with BLG at match point, T1 try to execute a dive. Zeus just dies to the turret. The rest of the team doesn't get the shove in fast enough, and Ornn is there to punish.
Elk doesn't connect the ultimate, but he plays out of his mind just at the right time. Ornn is able to arrive too. And BLG find the turnaround. This is the skirmishing we were looking for. Zeus now the target.
Yep, Shun is going to turn up. He does have the cease and desist available. There it is now. Zeus, I don't know whether he's going to be able to get out of this one as the gold card connects, and that will execute him. Bin is now on the board.
The momentum very quickly shifting in favor of BLG. T1, we know they have scaling options, but this is what you didn't want to give BLG. You did not want to give them the momentum, because with a comp like this, you know they can ride it all the way to a victory.
Target selection for BLG has been so good, and here, crucially, Elk identifies. He's able to clear out the wave.
What is the logic? I guess he wants to get the tower proc and then disengage, but he really underestimates the damage that he takes from the tower.
It's not the damage from the tower, because he immediately goes to all out, and it's lethal tempo Varus. So Elk, particularly early on, the damage is just insane, and then here the timing from Ornn, because it takes so long for Oner to push in that wave.
Really nicely played from the bot lane of BLG. We return to live. Varus still hovering around the top side of the map.
Still not an absolutely massive gold lead, as T1 have been able to go even as far as neutrals are concerned. Their ability to push turrets should be there, and they still have a lot of scaling in their composition. The problem is the way they're playing this early game isn't that controlled play that we saw in their series versus G2. As once again, we're ghosting. Pressing the ghost button.
I mean, just force it out of Zeus. I mean, it sets you up so nicely. All Bin has to do is park his ghost, and while he doesn't have the flash available, maybe this is an angle for Guma.
Yeah, he is going to walk over a ward, but we'll see whether Bin can do anything about it. The smallest all-out that I've ever seen, but it's going to work out here, as Guma is going to be able to throw enough in there, and Shun realizes that he wasn't able to change the play.
Guma, crucially, the difference maker there. Actually able as, Keria.
Okay, in comes the ram as, yeah, Keria's rooted, so not actually able to throw it back. So Elk just going to trade ultis.
I was immediately looking for Ignite as well. I'm like, I've seen this one before with the unsealed spellbook Ornn. That kill, though, is really big, because Bin was just able in this 1v1 to keep building his lead, keep farming up.
All right, oh, great sidestep there. Now Keria finds himself up the creek, and there is no paddle here. The Brittle gonna get procced And now Elk is just going to try and find a little bit more. Still, not actually going to follow him all the way forward. Let's Keria live for now, as in the meanwhile, there is an attack on the bottom side. 3v3 gold card here from Bin. Voltbreaker's fantastic hook is going to catch the Ksante, as somehow they're still alive, and there's the teleport in from Faker. On is going to be the one that has to be sacrificed, and somehow T1 find a kill in the play. Ulti comes down, they're going to find even more. There's a gold card prepped, and they're not going to chase too far forward. Never you mind. As Faker breathing. There is another one, as now Shun. They may have found the angle. Knight is going to get in there, and we forgot about the Corki, and he'll deliver the package to T1. And T1 wishes they could send it all the way back. Knight wanting to find more. He's got a flash of his own. The sidestep again. That one's going to miss as well. And somehow Faker is going to swivel. The last rocket finds him.
Knight with the crucial teleport. T1 with the overextension. BLG 8 kills to 4. Lead in game 4.
And we were not sure about this Corki, but now Knight sitting at 3, 0 and 1. 1k gold up. And T1, they're gonna have to find a way to deal with this Yordle, because he is going to be so insanely strong in these fights.
He certainly will, and I feel like we kind of stopped talking about the Corki, even though he did manage to get that first blood earlier on in the game.
Corki.
He's just scaling, and now on a killing spree, and we know that it only gets worse from here. My goodness, T1 now pushing towards his top side, trying to keep the pressure up where they can. 2 versus 2 though, as the snare not going to connect there onto Bin. Looking for some extra plates. They will be able to find that one, as now Shun looking for the second dragon for BLG.
So an exchange of neutral objectives. As T1 invests their resources top, BLG cross-map bot. You can feel the momentum shifting away from T1.
Oh, let's check
And
it out one more
starts
time.
with this play, like, T1 play this incredibly well. Jun, is forced to flash early as Zeus buys enough time underneath this tower. They're kind of keeping BLG around, waiting for the TP to come through from Faker.
Okay, in the meantime, now Shun might be in trouble here. The ulti comes down from Faker, and they start the fight off with a kill onto Shun. There's another one on Knight as well, and the shutdown goes to the Dragon, and T1 finding some momentum.
In the previous play was T1 that overstepped. This time it's BLG. Keria with the long-range engage as Oner finds the resets.
Such a much-needed play from T1. Not only do you get that crucial shutdown onto Faker, but you really do kind of knock the wind right out of BLG. A fantastic pick, stabilizes the game a little bit more, and further accelerates this Aurelion Sol that you want to get online as quickly as you can.
And it's double stacking, right? And we're looking over the side of BLG, they have a Corki. Scales extraordinarily well. I think that they will be able to put up a fight in the later game, but when you've got Senna, Aurelion Sol, Ornn, you do kind of cheat when you start to get to the later minutes of the game. Has now been moving forward, but I don't know whether he wants to. Zeus, he is going to be able to mitigate the CC, finds another one here. Shun able to sidestep, Piercing Darkness coming in, and T1 are able to walk away.
They were able to stall enough time. BLG don't have a lot of vision in the jungle of T1. They don't want to risk someone coming in. And either team, I think, taking some lessons from these back-to-back overextensions.
It's crazy to think that a few minutes ago, Knight had a 1k gold lead over Faker, and now that gold lead has been neutralized thanks to the shutdown. And T1 rather, are just neutralizing right now. They're continuing to mount advantages as the tower is secured in top. The Herald is alive, and both teams set their sights on it. Look at the mini-map. Everyone is resetting out towards mid lane. Zeus knows that he has TP, so he's going to be sent to catch bot. Bin doesn't have that same luxury, but he is hovering around the bot side, meaning that T1, once they spot him, can force a play around Herald, knowing that they should get the numbers advantage.
And T1, as you saw at the top of your screen there, able to get a whole lot of plates in the early stages of the game. And despite the fact that all of those kills went over to BLG, I think that's what kind of kept T1 in it as far as the money was concerned, not to mention the TF on the other side really skewing things. The Gambler makes it very hard to keep a gold lead against him. And so now, as we equalize, those 2 kills really feel like T1 have got an extra lease on life. in not just this game, but this series. If they lose this, it's just done. And once again, it's that 3-1 for BLG. Teleport coming on in here as Zeus maybe just wants to take the turret before he's going to die, but Knight is coming in and he wants to get yet another kill for himself. Couldn't get to the wall, couldn't get all out, and that is going to be another kill going over. This time, at least it does go to On.
T1, I think we'll take that, especially with On getting the kill. This isn't a farming Nautilus. Gold doesn't feel quite as good. And on the flip side, T1 is taking the Herald. Zeus got the turret as well, so T1 gonna take that trade. As we get into the mid game, I'm gonna be looking to what extent can BLG use the single target lockdown in particular. Yes, Knight's gonna be really big when it comes to the AoE teamfight damage, particularly later in the game, but right now, I think the biggest advantage that BLG have when it comes to these fights is find one target and blow them up in seconds. But it is kind of tough because Ornn obviously can really easily go unstoppable. Same for Oner with his ultimate, and Ksante I'm not even going to mention.
And Oner has more CS than Bin in this game, by the way. He has been farming a lot. This is an agricultural Viego. He is just all about...
Hey, he gets to have a hobby, Atlus.
No, well, I know. He's doing a really good job. I personally love tractors. It's totally fine as Knight moves towards the top side to get rid of these minions, but we need to talk about the resets that this Viego can get in these fights as well, because you're talking about single target lockdown. What about everyone lockdown? Because Faker presses R button and it's like Sejuani ultimate for everyone.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because you are right, Atlus. You've been commenting on it a few times that Knight, you can't afford to underestimate this Corki's late game threat. We've seen it too many times from Chovy to know what this champion can do.
Is it PTSD that you're identifying in my words?
Yeah.
I can understand it.
He's proven what this champion can do, even if it's not quite as meta.
And Faker is no stranger to it either, of course.
That's true. So, yeah, the execution of these fights, as it often is going to be a large determiner. There's the package.
And
10
2 items.
seconds until the dragon.
That's big. 2 item spike done here for Knight. Has his Maw of Malmortius. Doesn't have the full stack yet, but might actually hit it. T1 with the Acel should have a decent time with clearing this wave.
This guy is not quite descending completely here. Faker hasn't quite charged it up just yet. Still,
like T1's doing
are moving further forward. There is the Rift Herald once again. Faker, he's been burnt by that before. He will not this time around, but Shelly will also be entirely wasted. So T1 going to use this time as they do take down the Rift Herald to try and move themselves into the river, but BLG will have none of it. They get mid-control once again. This push and pull working out here for BLG so far.
Seeing the value of the Aurelion Sol there holding the wave. But the chip damage from BLG is solid, even though it's not lethality Varus. The damage, I mean, if it hits, it's still there. It'll stick. And BLG, they're pushing T1 back. They're moving into their jungle. Faker gonna go move bot, catch that wave. Bin is hovering around there as well. BLG are setting themselves up nicely for their 3rd dragon of the game. And the question that T1 should be asking themselves is, do we even need to fight this dragon? Are we strong enough, or are we just throwing up the position that we're in away?
Observers are showing they have no vision. I don't think they're going to get the break. They might get the fight.
There's the Ornn. We'll see whether they can find out. That flash was perfectly angled. And so they'll trade an ulti for a flash. You probably take that, but it's also the dragon and soul point for BLG.
BLG mitigates so much here, though. They set up soul point with the Cloud Soul for themselves. They're able to then also deny the Rift Herald. Faker takes it, but doesn't want to run the risk, which I think was the right call. But it means the mid lane turret is still standing, and they are able to keep T1 on the back foot. T1 looking for a crucial fight, but it will be denied.
Bin still staying around bot lane. He has to recognize that he's in a bit of a precarious spot, but just going to catch that one last wave before he goes back to base. Knight also pushing out top. There's no real objectives for either team to play around right now, so it really is just farm simulator. BLG would love to secure this top tower, but Knight recognizes could be a little risky. Faker.
Yeah. Faker's like, I'll take that 1 minion, and then I will move away.
It's fine, Nautilus. Just can't walk up, even with Acel. Obviously, there's so much CC.
Yeah, just good awareness from Knight. At first, it seemed he came across as a bit hesitant to siege onto that tower, but Shun and On had already reset back out onto the map, and so they worked with him to unlock that outer tower. Now it becomes a battle of the mid lane towers. Both teams set their side there once again.
Yeah, going to be denied by that hook like you were talking about, but it is On out of the woods. The 3rd Q is good from Zeus, but they're not wanting to overdive. The singularity comes down, doesn't really catch anyone. The arrow is going to go wide, of course. Not lethality, so not as deadly. Still, this turret is in trouble. Knight teleports in. Great snare from Gumayusi as BLG even out the numbers and T1 get the heck out of there.
T1 though really good with the pressure.
Never mind, there's the ram. It's going to connect on Elk. They know that he doesn't have the flash and the explosion of damage. T1, it's not about the turret. They take 3 kills before they get it. And now I have a feeling it's just a Baron as it's only been around for 15 seconds and T1 want to wipe it from the map.
The timing is just perfect for T1. They get the flash from Elk. The chain CC is flawless. And the Baron is there for the taking.
Even in the face of BLG, it was so obvious what T1 was looking for, but the turret is so low that none of it ends up mattering. The empowered ult from the ASOL does the heavy lifting, and T1 get the Baron.
They're looking to bring us to game 5, but Elk with no flash. It's BLG saying, hey, maybe we can punish them here, we can look for a stun. But then look at this re-engage. The Ornn ultimate comes out. Faker has his ultimate to follow up. Then the Senna ultimate too. They don't even have to get in range to kill him. As 3 are immediately eliminated and T1 secure the Baron.
Double knock up there from Keria to take away so much of the damage. And Guma with the step back there so he doesn't get hooked. On was looking for the re-engage. T1 now though. We have seen how tenacious BLG is. This team can never be underestimated when it comes to the team fights. Look at that gold graph.
Yeah, it's a heart monitor. And tell you what, I can completely understand it. This series has been only intense, and it felt like BLG had so much control earlier on. Now with the Baron, this game is in T1's hands. They're wanting to get us to silver scrapes as Shun down to 50% underneath the inner turret.
Fake was tanking.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause here.
The tenacity that they showed in the games, even where they were behind, the game where they were, what, 7, 8K gold, they still were able to find a lot of these team fights. That's what they're going to have to rely on here as well. If they want to ensure they get the players.
Oh, never mind. Okay, we're all the way back into the action. Shun is in so much trouble. Oner is able to lock down the kill in the end, and now the resets are coming in. He's under a turret, and he's alone. I don't know about that one, but it is a trade, a 1-for-1 here. But even a 1-for-1, when the Baron is on the map here for T1, it's still so worth it for BLG.
Keria also died in that exchange. I actually think it ended up being a 2-for-1.
He died already. Okay, never mind.
It seems that they are really trying hard to force that tower to drop so that they can convert it into a fight. I wonder if this will be their undoing. I guess they should have enough time to respawn ahead of the dragon spawning. But let's look back at this play.
T1, as you say, really won this. They're kind of forced with that engage there from On. Nicely done on Keria. And then the rest of T1 just trying to play for damage control. Oner goes in there, not able to get out, so knows he's dead, tries to just make a play with the resets, and ends up getting Knight's flash. So I think they made the best out of a pretty bad situation, but credit to On, because the Red Bull Baron power play is negligible. It's barely even positive. 300 gold, meaning that the gold lead 41 is barely grown. We still have the Dragon coming up, and T1 are gonna have to fight for it.
And gentlemen, that's a package with Malignance on the Corki. We have reached a point where the battleship cruiser is fully operational. Let's see how T1 can navigate this. Pin on the flank. Oner recognizing it. Wards to try and cut it off. Here's the TF ult.
Yeah, Destiny coming on in here. Gumayusi trying to keep himself safe over. Oner diving onto Bin, but there is the Ornn. Knockoff is perfect to deny the ram. T1 haven't lost anyone just yet, but it's going to be so hard to get this dragon. Zeus gets amongst it, though. The all-out comes on through as Shun not going to be getting in range of the smite. They deny the soul, but can they win the fight is the question. Elk goes down, and the Corki's massive Faker saves it. As there is the double, and T1 will wipe the fight.
That was some old school Ksantening as well from Zeus. Amidst multiple members, he was the one who kept Shun away from the pit. He was the one who drew the attention, and T1 get the dragon, and we'll be able to push in for mid lane turret here as well.
It's a chaotic fight on multiple sides. The T1 navigate beautifully. It felt like once Bin had gone into the flank, that T1's front to back was going to collapse, that things were going to fall apart, but they have great target focus. You talked about it. The Ornn ultimate gets disjointed because of the ult from On, but Zeus finds the jungler. He forces the ult out from Shun to him.
Keria.
That knockup from Keria as well. Shun gets taken out of the pit. And then Faker hasn't even used his ult in all of this. Zeus just does some serious damage on the back line with Oner there to back him up. And the front line of T1 is just relentless. And it's not, BLG don't have enough to get through it.
That's what we expected to see. Nicely done, Zeus. More damage than the ASOL. The big thing there as well is that Knight, even though he got a lot of damage down, did use a lot of his time to take down Guma, which eventually ended up happening, but Guma still got the ultimate off, and with his flash, was able to stall for a decent amount. T1 though, this is a decent gold lead. They have great scaling. We see still, as long as this Corki is on the map, I imagine T1 are gonna have to respect, and no one can overstep with the amount of CC that's available here. BLG, they keep on looking, wanting to get back to that grand final.
There's another hook, but now the Ram is going to follow. Another route is going to deny it though. Still, I'm gonna take a bit of damage. Rockets flying on in here, not quite doing too much here to the very tanky members of T1. Still sieging, trying to find this inner turret on this top side of the map. Bin is moving up though, almost in Destiny range. As we can see, teleport at the ready for Zeus though, he can answer. Much longer cooldown. You can see T1 still so respectful, and they absolutely have to be. Being pushed so hard here by BLG.
There's no package, and they have empowered ulti, so T1 feel very confident here. Teleport available as well, as you say, to match the threat of Bin going in.
T1 don't have anything to be afraid of though. Ultimates are on their way back up. The poke damage onto Guma is effective, and that's actually going to be enough to push T1 away. But the Baron, 10 seconds, do they immediately go towards it, or will they choose to reset? Looks like reset will be the answer. Bin doing what he can. Maybe he can trade for a mid-tier 1 hit, finally take that one down. I see Zeus looking for a flank. The Destiny going to come out to get that information.
But you're also like, safe. Are you guys on Baron? T1, be honest, come on. Are you guys on Baron? T1 was sitting on a large amount of gold across the board. We see as well big finishes coming in.
Yeah.
First upgrade there for Faker. We have the Sterix now done for Oner.
But like, this Corki damage is not as terrifying when it's only hitting onto Zeus and Keria. Look at that magic resistance coming out from Keria.
He's only level 14 as well, of course. You want level 16 to be really powerful. However, if he is hitting Zeus and Keria, you know, we're not going to elude anyone. Like, it still won't do that much. They're very, very tanky, as you say. Faker also just being gifted an extra 1,000 gold based on that upgrade on the Leandris. Feels really, really good.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, now just gets to breathe on the Baron. It's going to go down very, very quickly, as we can see. Hex Splash getting on amongst it, but no. Now, he does find himself in an awkward position. Finally, a Ram is going to get some knockups, but the follow-up isn't exactly there. Still, they're able to get on top of the support, and BLG don't find an avenue to answer back.
2 ultimates invested for a single kill. They know they have the numbers advantage, so they're going to start the Baron once more. As long as Shun is alive, T1 have to be careful.
Bin on the flank.
Yeah, it's
Faker
a great flank.
relatively
Look
low.
at these health bars are getting lower and lower as Knight throws the rockets in. Faker is going to get taken down at the start of the fight, but the trade is going to be on to Shun. The all-out is going to be there as Knight is down relatively low, and the Unstoppable is going to get Zeus out of there. Just regrouping with the team. 2 dead on the side of BLG, and Bin finding himself on the wrong side of the fight. He is still very healthy, but I don't know whether this is going to do it. There's the knockback, and Bin will be wiped from the map.
Guma almost goes down, but T1 still have enough. Faker will be back up, but those are the moments that BLG is looking for.
I mean, BLG prove why their team fighting is world class. What was that angle from Bin? Such a creative way to lock down Faker. The TP committed.
Okay, Elk walking over that ward. Zeus. That's a lot of health bar.
It's that is many health bars.
Oh yes, anathemas.
Oh, it's
that's the ult.
Yeah, really nice hook back there. Just to deny his exit as Knight's coming on over. He still does a fair bit of work here as the depth charge is invested. That's the singularity here from Faker. And yeah, Ksante is just going to Ksante. He's got anathemas. He's 4 items, and they're all really big tanky ones. Another dragon denied here from BLG. As an Ornn coming out once again, Keria looks for the knockup, and they're just going to look for Ornn. Try and get the kill they can find. That's a decent package, but it's defensive. Then, oh, never you mind. Okay, it's really offensive as Faker almost just dies to the damage. Bin, he's on a ward as now T1 look to try and get him out of there. Ornn in trouble as well as BLG. They're going for the pincer, and that doesn't often work here in League of Legends. Bin looks for Faker, and he gets him. Wow! Okay, we've got another fight here on the other side though, and Shun's gonna be taken down by Oner. T1 answer back, and there's a flash in. Oner doesn't find it on Knight though, whose Valkyrie is absolutely fantastic.
It's BLG though that are running for their lives. They're the ones that have to retreat. T1 are sieging onto the base.
Crucially though, Shun is going to come up in about 30 seconds. We'll see there's no real opportunity, no ultimate for Bin, no TP for Knight, so no creative flanks here. And by the end of all of that, Baron's still standing, Inip still standing, and this game and this tense situation that we find ourselves in will continue.
I can't believe how much damage that package did from Knight.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be he's saving on, and then Faker almost just dies by walking onto some coals.
The initiation from Keria only connects onto Ornn. And then look at this package from Knight, kind of cutting off their ability to follow. The poke follow-up from Elk as well. And then the flank from Bin connects onto Guma, forces the cleanse out from him. And then look at how split this fight is. A really nice ulti from Faker kind of mitigates the follow-up from the BLG backline. Bin then commits the flash to get the kill so close.
And the Gromp helping out as well. Oh dear.
Everyone can get beaten by Gromp, Atlus.
I know, Chengdu proved it.
A big thing there. With Bin staying alive, I think that actually makes a big difference. Otherwise, T1 probably could have pushed for that mid lane inhib. But you know they are thinking at least about starting this objective again. T1 so badly wants to make it back to face Gen.G as GA. No package right now though. We'll see if T1 is able to utilize that timing, but I imagine Faker also wants to farm up.
Yeah, there's a really nice route once again. Keria, he hasn't got many of these off, but there's the ulti, and Elk, he's now split from the rest of his team, but so is Keria. Keria is a little bit healthier though, as Elk is going to make his way back to the fountain, and T1 may have found an avenue towards the Baron.
I can't believe Elk did not flash in that situation. He only commits the ghost, and now Bin can actually just rail on this tower.
Oh, there's the back from Keria.
They don't want to overcommit though. They saw a large figure in the bush and said, you know what, that's not a squishy target.
Oh, Zeus. Oh, they know!
He's baiting! Okay, there is the destiny. They know exactly what's wrong now, but can they do anything about it? Knight just purchased that GA as they get on top of Gumayusi. That flash was absolutely amazing, and the health bots just melt as Faker's damage is immense still. They need to try and deny this push from Bin, who runs out of minions. That hook was amazing from Ornn, but I don't know whether he will survive as he gets knocked back by the Ksante. And Ornn will be taken down underneath his inner turret. And that was a solo kill from Faker in the bottom lane. This game is insane.
T1 still have all 5 members alive. Only Elk is left to defend. He's trying to catch what waves he can, but Keria is chasing him down.
He's going to get knocked back. Of course, Keria taking a fair bit of damage there, but the rest of T1 is bearing down on Elk. This dragon up and available as well as Elk. He is going to be taken out here. There is the ace in the end. And T1, what do we want to get off the back of it?
Shun in 5 seconds, so the question is, can he get back up onto the map in time? I'm going to guess no, but he's going to run for his life as T1 look to secure another Baron.
Upgraded Leandris is just a little bit too much. I don't think Shun's gonna make it. As we see here again, the value of that ultimate from the TF, as we do see in a picture-in-picture that it was taken. But here, even though they know, it doesn't change the situation because Guma's there as well.
But look at Zeus, the flash was good, but this 2-man drag back was incredible. Faker then realizes the assignment. He has to get back to base immediately. Ornn, I think, tries to interrupt, but he can't quite find the angle. He gets chased underneath this tower. And at this point, they have to be concerned about the split push, which Faker quickly shuts down.
Yeah, he's been taking a bit of extra damage there, I believe, tanking up the turret to make sure that he could maximize the turret damage, and therefore he is just going to be executed by Faker, who does have close to 400 stacks, which I don't think I really need to say is a lot of stacks. That is going to be the Vault Breaker over the wall from Shun. A little bit anxious, and now T1 really feeling like they're hitting their stride. And of course, this composition scales beautifully. They've got 3 ornaments now set up here by Keria, and this should be their version of Soul Point that they've now put together. 3 Cloud Drakes in a row.
For T1, there's a few things you need to avoid. No one can get caught isolated by Bin and Knight. If he gets his package, we saw the damage he did in the last fight. Level 16 now on this Corki, but outside of that, T1 is on the precipice of bringing us to silver scrapes in this lower bracket final, with the Baron buff now looking for the inhibs.
This bottom inhibitor turret is down exceedingly low, but there is no turret in the mid lane. T1 with a lot of power here, but still you can see the amount of respect they're giving BLG. They know
That's one TP
they
ward.
give them anything, they'll take it. As Oner, there is the ram. Okay, Keria tries to find Elki, will be able to connect it. They're not able to get the snare though, as Faker has to use his Zhonya's, and look at that damage! Absolutely absurd, and that is a large price to pay, as now Zeus sort of taking matters into his own hands. 1 versus 4 right now, great buffer on the hook as Knight is going to turn off the Dawning Shadow, does nothing, package delivered! And there is Oner now trying to get him out of this battle, and Oner is going to do it. He's going to be able to take down the Corki, but can they get anything else is the question. This Corki is gigantic, and now in the hands of the T1 jungler, they turn the fight around. And I thought that this was going to be the comeback angle for BLG, but T1 say no. They say that they love Silver Scrapes and they'd like to put it on one more time.
Bin stands alone as he watches turrets fall, but I don't think even he can save this one.
BLG fall apart. T1.
Wait a minute.
Zeus is going down extremely low. They're going to hold on to their last Nexus turret. Zeus somehow survives. Not sure about that one, but these health bars are going down so low. Oner still going to tank up that last turret shot, but now he's able to get in there. That's his Vault Breaker now. And Zeus comes back with a more than full health bar. That's everyone else's health bar as well, I'm pretty sure. And that ram will stop anyone from being able to deny this Nexus. And there it is, it was slightly delayed. They had to work so hard, but the Nexus will be taken and T1 will take us to Game 5.
Ben, he believed in the heart of the cards, but this duel was won by Oner. In the final fight, that damage was unrelenting. And T1 are able to find the winning fights. An incredible turnaround. Blue side has won every single game, and as we go to match point, it will be T1 with their backs against the wall.
We keep talking about this ASO, we keep talking about the Senna in the late game. Oner, 12, 3 and 9 on Viego. Zeus, 7, 3 and 13. The man started this game by dying for no reason underneath a turret,